Hello friends, this is Hindu newspaper analysis on security and international relations. In this video, I'm going to discuss in detail about the topics related to international relations that appeared in Hindu newspaper on 18th February. And these 5 articles are very important from examination point of view. That is related to Myanmar conflict, Ukraine crisis, UN Security Council meet to discuss the situation in Libya, and Indo-Sri Lanka relations, Egypt ISIS conflict. So let's discuss the topics one by one. The first is Myanmar conflict. China rules out intervention. This article appeared on international page. Here, there is a fighting going on between Myanmar army and Kokang rebels for the control of a township in the northern Shan state in Myanmar, and this is creating instability in the already strife-torn Myanmar. And this situation has huge security implication for both India as well as China, because the security of Myanmar is very important. Because of the geostrategic position of Myanmar, India's Look East policy, now the Act East policy, depends on the stability of Myanmar. Because the northeastern states shares the border with Myanmar, and it then connects with Thailand and other Southeast Asian nations. So we can build a highway and trade and commerce which connects northeastern states with Southeast Asian nations through Myanmar. So it is very important. For the Chinese, they are implementing 2 projects. They have an ambitious project called One Road, One Belt strategy. It includes 2 projects. One is 21st century maritime Silk Road, and another one is Silk Road and Economic Belt. And these 2 projects are majorly dependent on the stable Myanmar because they pass through this Myanmar. Okay, what is One Road, One Belt strategy? It is a development strategy started by Chinese government in 2013. It includes 2 projects. One is New Silk Road Economic Belt, which links China with Europe through Central and Western Asia. And second one is 21st century maritime Silk Road. And this connects China with Southeast Asian countries, Africa and Europe. It is a maritime route. One is maritime route, one is land route. This map clears all your doubts. So the economic belt connects Beijing and other Chinese cities with the Middle East and the Europe. It was along the lines of World Silk Road. And the second initiative is Maritime Silk Road, which connects Chinese hinterland, which is considered least developed when compared to the eastern part of China, with the prosperous Southeast Asian nations, Africa, Middle East and Europe, through a series of chain of ports and other industrial towns. It is also designed to counter India's dominance in Indian Ocean, and it has huge security implications with respect to India. Please dig in the internet about this topic and the security implications to India if the China completes this project. So let's come back to the topic, the Burma Civil War. Why there is ethnic conflict going on in Burma? It has been going on since Burma became independent in 1947, because Myanmar has 16% population with majority Burmans, and another 31% population consists of minorities. They have huge diversity of minorities including Karen, Kachin, Karenni, Chin, Mon, Rakhine, Rohingya, Shan, Wa, and these minorities have their own specific grievances. They wanted to safeguard their culture, language, autonomy. They wanted share in the political offices. They wanted inclusive political growth. So when Myanmar became independent in 1947 from British, the Britishers brokered a deal called Panglong Agreement between the major ethnic community with the minor ethnic communities to guarantee them the self-determination, inclusive politics, and to safeguard their cultural and language rights. But soon after, Aung San, the freedom fighter, became assassinated, and then Myanmar drifted towards majoritarian country, suppressing the ethnic minorities, all these ethnic minorities. So the minorities took up arms to struggle against the major Burman ethnic group, demanding autonomy ranging from devolution of power to the ultimate secession from the country. And this struggle has been going on since 4 to 5 decades. But the stability of Myanmar is very important from both Indian point of view, because we consider Act East policy as very strategic, and China to complete effectively the Maritime Silk Road project. And also the militant organizations in northeastern states find safe harbors in Myanmar. If it is destabilized, it would be difficult for Indian government to control insurgency in northeastern states and bring normalcy. So it is in India's interest to resolve the conflict in Myanmar. And this image provides you the distribution of ethnic group in Burma. The orange color provides the major group and other colors represents the minority communities. You can see the huge diversity in ethnic population in Myanmar. So inclusive politics is the key for effective governance of any country, which is very diverse in ethnic and linguistic areas. The second article is Peace Hopes Destroyed in Ukraine. 2 days back, there is a ceasefire agreement made between the insurgent group, that is pro-Russian insurgent group in Ukraine, and the Ukrainian government to bring peace in the area. But now the ceasefire has been broken by the insurgent groups. This is the news. EU and the European Union and the West, including United States, blamed the Russia for the conflict, and they put sanctions against the Russia, that is economic sanctions against the Russia. And the Russian owe to retaliate the EU with similar sanctions. So why there is conflict going on in Ukraine? Because Ukraine has Russian-speaking ethnic group on the eastern and southern part of Ukraine, which is pro-Russian, and western and northern part of Ukraine is pro-European Union and the West. So Ukraine has been divided into pro-Russia and pro-Western bloc. After annexation of Crimea, which was a part of Ukraine by Russia, eastern part of Ukraine also wants independence from the Ukraine. Previously, the Ukrainian government had imposed language restriction. They removed the official status to the Russian language and imposed certain restriction on the Russian-speaking population in Ukraine. And Russia is also accused of supplying the weapons and logistic support to the pro-Russian rebels in the Ukraine. It is also a long story. Please search in the internet about Orange Revolution, Viktor Yanukovych, protest by Ukrainian right wing to join European Union, and meddling of Western countries and Russia to influence their interest in Ukraine. Please comment in the comment section if you want a separate video on Ukraine conflict. If you are interested, I am happy to make a video on this part. And the third article is on United Security Council meet to discuss the situation in Libya. On Wednesday, the Islamic State militants beheaded 21 Egyptian Christians in Libya. So Egypt has urged the United States Security Council to provide a mandate for an international intervention in Libya, since Libya became unstable after overthrow of Muhammad Gaddafi, and rival militant organization has been ruling the country since then. But the mandate for international intervention is a contentious issue, because in 2011, Security Council provided mandate to invade Libya, but it created negative externalities and made Libya an unstable state. So Russia and China has been reluctant to support intervention under UN banner. So from examination point of view, let's learn something about UN Security Council. Here it's one of the 6 principal organ of United Nations, and its main job is to maintain international peace and security. It has 3 important powers. One is establishment of peacekeeping operations. The second is establishment of international sanctions. And third is authorization of military action through Security Council resolutions. So peacekeeping operations, international sanctions, and authorization of military action. These 3 are the important powers of Security Council, and it is the only UN body which has the authority to issue binding resolution to member states. The composition of Security Council it consists of 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. The 5 permanent members are victors of World War II, that is US, Russia, France, China, and United Kingdom. They have the veto power that they can reject any UNSC resolution, even they passed with a majority. And 10 non-permanent members are elected on a regional basis, and they have 2-year term. Presidency is occupied on the basis of rotation on monthly basis. And the 4th article is about India-Sri Lanka ties. New thrust in India-Sri Lanka ties. Here, India, Sri Lanka entered into an agreement where India provides assistance to Sri Lanka in exchange of knowledge, expertise, and sharing of resources, capacity building, and training of personnel in peaceful use of nuclear energy. And they also agreed on defense and security cooperation in a trilateral format along with Maldives. So, keeping Sri Lanka and Maldives in good humor is at the interest of Indian strategic community, because if we neglect Sri Lanka and Maldives, China will occupy that position, and that will have huge security implications because China will come at the doorsteps of India in the Indian Ocean. This agreement is very important because 2 years back, Sri Lanka indicated that it would explore the options to enter into an agreement with Islamabad for peaceful use of nuclear energy, but it decides to choose India as the partner. So this is welcome step from Indian point of view. Here, from examination point of view, when it comes to India-Sri Lanka relations, certain things has to be known, and these are India-Sri Lanka relations, the ethnic minority in Sri Lanka, that is Tamil minority, and their connection with the Indian Tamils, and the influence of Tamil Nadu and Tamil issues in Indian coalition politics. For example, when Manmohan Singh government, it became a political issue and guided the India's international decisions. So India and Sri Lanka has been connected culturally, historically. Both countries has democracy, and Sri Lanka is a Buddhist nation, and India is home to Buddhism. India has spiritual centers related to Buddhism. So we can forge people-to-people contact between India and Sri Lanka effectively. And China factor is also important. China established a Hambantota port in Sri Lanka, and they are planning to convert into a naval base for them, even though they have not expressed this explicitly. So 6 months back, a Chinese submarine appeared on Hambantota port. India made a strong objection to that. And Sri Lanka and Hambantota port is also an important part of string of pearl of China. Know about string of pearl? Search in the internet. And India and Sri Lanka has fishermen issue, fishing rights along the maritime boundary, and recent UN Human Rights Council report on war crimes by the Sri Lankan military, and know about 13th Amendment, which seeks to devolve power to the Tamil minority as well as recognize Tamil as the official language, one of the official languages, and lesson learned reconciliation commission, which was set up in 2010 by Rajpaksa government to improve the conditions of Tamils. You should know these topics when it comes to India-Sri Lanka relations. Please search in the internet. The next article is Egypt Strikes Back. It is related to beheading of 21 Egyptian Christians by Islamic State militants in Libya. So Egypt attacked Islamic State bases. So in the course, the 7 civilians killed. That is Libyan civilians killed. So the Libyans consider this as an assault on Libya's sovereignty. So this complicates the matter between Libya and Egyptians, because nobody allows another country to attack on their soil. And Islamic State has stable bases in Syria and Iraq, and it is expanding into Libya, which is an unstable country without any stable regime. There are also a lot of militant organization has been ruling the state. It is in total chaos. Some days back, Islamic State militants also beheaded the Jordan civilians. So Jordan also drawn into the conflict with Islamic State. So they are using carefully crafted visuals in the media to bring instability in the Middle Eastern countries and to draw the civilians to their fold. So this is an important topic which shows how the social media can be misused by the militants to destabilize the country. And recent lone wolf terror attacks in Sydney, Paris, and Copenhagen, they also have ideological affiliations with Islamic State. So this opens up an Pandora of questions how to tackle Islamic State and its spread. Okay, finally, please write answers to these questions in the comment section below, and also review the answers, all the answers. Let's make this initiative an interactive one. I also try to provide feedback to your answers. Please write answers below. These are the questions. Please pause the video and note on the questions and write your answers. And please provide the feedback to me to improve the video